on the clock?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. My question is to the Minister for Foreign Affairs, and I'd refer the Minister to the Australian flagship policy, that of the Colombo Plan. And look, I would like to applaud the Minister for her advocacy for this wonderful program and what that has meant for so many young people right across Western Sydney. According to the Strategic Direction Statement in the 2015-16 Foreign Affairs Trade Portfolio Budget Statement, the new Colombo Plan is deepening Australia's relationship in the Indo-Pacific by offering undergraduate students opportunities for scholarships and grants for study and internship mentorships in the region. A crucial component of the new Colombo Plan is the focus on internships and mentorships. Under the program, students will directly benefit from the opportunity to live, study and work abroad, deepening their understanding of our neighbours and forging friendships and professional connections that will last a lifetime. We have entered into a new world of trade and economics, and this government is giving students the opportunity to develop those skills as part of the program so they too can break into the international market or pursue a career of their choice internationally. The opportunity was freed up by the Abbott government after securing free trade deals with China, South Korea and Japan. Also, students' knowledge of overseas markets from studying abroad will help us as a government to continue our relationship with the Indo-Pacific region. To add, the Minister visited Western Sydney, and in fact she visited my electorate of Lindsay, where we went to the University of Western Sydney. In February, we were able to celebrate the success of some more than 190 UWS students that had received grants and scholarships under the new Colombo Plan to travel internationally to more than 38 nations in the Indo-Pacific region. UWS students are travelling to countries such as Thailand, Japan and Singapore, where they take internships or conduct various projects that range from clinical placements in hospitals to working on sustainable development and community business projects run by NGOs. The University of Western Sydney Vice-Chancellor Professor Barney Glover said expanding the university's international horizons is a strategic priority for UWS. He would also like to see increasing numbers of students study internationally and develop a deeper engagement with our region. He went on to say, the experiences and relationships we forge through education permeate and provide and inform and shape our future endeavours. Spending time overseas to study is a life-changing experience, and a positive impact of initiatives like the new Colombo Plan will be felt more in years to come. Deputy Speaker, I was honoured as part of my MBA program with AGSM to in fact do one of my subjects at Hong Kong, and it was international marketing. And I have to say that experience has really helped me a lot in my own career and my own experiences. And you yourself, having lived and worked overseas, I'm sure you can also appreciate why these are amazing opportunities for young people. But the Vice-Chancellor goes on to say, in addition to the vital scholarly experience, students forge friendships and connections, develop leadership skills and gain first-hand understanding of another culture, which is invaluable to their future careers. This is an opportunity that is guaranteed to enhance our students' personal and professional lives long after they have returned home. Indigenous student that the Minister and I met, Jasmine Hammond, is completing a Bachelor of Natural Science, Environment and Health at UWS and spent a year abroad in Hong Kong as part of the Colombo Plan. She is also the first Indigenous Australian to be awarded one of these scholarships. She said her time in Hong Kong's University of Science and Technology was a formidable experience as she adopted to a home city of some 7 million people. Deputy Speaker, she studied chemistry and physics. She will be counted towards her degree here in Australia, but most importantly, while she was there, she decided to also study medicine. The experience in Hong Kong was such that she decided to transform her life so much that she's been accepted to study a double major, a double degree, a Bachelor of Medicine, a Bachelor of Surgery. Deputy Speaker, she came from a country town, and I would like to ask the Minister, can the Minister provide advice and opportunities that are available for Australian undergraduate students in 2015-16, particularly those students in Western Sydney?
I call the Minister. I call the Minister. Yes.
Mr Deputy Speaker, I understand that you have ruled that we will break with the convention that's clearly there in House of Representative practice and standing orders that the call will alternate between. What we're seeing here, therefore, is one question every 20 minutes, because you have a 5-minute response, then a 5-minute Dorothy Dixer, then a 5-minute response, before you get the opportunity for anyone in the opposition to ask questions. The mistake that is there in the ruling is confusing this consideration in detail process with Senate estimates. This is not the same process as Senate estimates, which is why the opposition is therefore having to sit through 20 minutes for each question that is being asked. So in this, it makes about 3. So could I ask you to seek from the Speaker a ruling for the future consideration in details process of whether the call will indeed alternate or whether we will have a genuine process of question and answer. I respect the ruling that you've made here, but with respect, your ruling is wrong, is against the standing orders in the House of Representatives practice, but I would ask you to seek from the Speaker a ruling and for her to report after question time today on what that would be.
Okay, with the assistance of the clerk, I will do that. I call the Minister.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. And I note the member for Lindsay's great interest in the new Colombo Plan, which will be a transformative initiative for generations of young Australians. And I'm pleased that the member mentioned our visit to the University of Western Sydney Penrith campus last February. We had a very good new Colombo Plan event and got some marvellous feedback from the students in her electorate. In answer to her direct question about the budget, I can confirm that the government will spend around $28 million to support Australian students through the new Colombo Plan in 2015-2016. This year in particular, the new Colombo Plan will support around 3,200 students through scholarships and mobility grants. In 2016, the government will offer around 100 scholarships and around 4,750 mobility grants. What this means, and I know the member for Lindsay and the member for Solomon will be interested in this, is that this will take the total number of students supported through the new Colombo Plan since it began in the pilot program in 2014 to around 10,000 students by the end of 2016. So in 2-3 years, it will be almost 10,000 students. Now, the member for Lindsay referred to the University of Western Sydney. Now, they have been an enthusiastic supporter of the new Colombo Plan, and I thank the member for Lindsay for the engagement that she has had with the university in encouraging students to apply for new Colombo Plan scholarships and mobility grants. And in many instances, the students receiving these grants and this funding have never been overseas. No member of their family has been overseas, and they haven't had the opportunity to study in our region. So since the new Colombo Plan was established 2 years ago, I can confirm that 186 Australian undergraduate students from the University of Western Sydney have been supported to live and study and work in our region under the new Colombo Plan. That's 186 from the University of Western Sydney. Now, this includes 6 students who have received the prestigious year-long new Colombo Plan scholarships. Timothy Mann was a 2014 scholarship recipient. He's currently studying biological and molecular biological sciences in Japan, and he will be doing an internship at the Riken Brain Science Institute. Another student from your electorate, member for Lindsay, Candice Skelton, has studied biology at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. According to Candice, and she's informed us that her new Colombo Plan experience allowed her to, quote, grow as a person and to see life through a new perspective. The remaining 180 students have benefited from new Colombo Plan mobility grants that support shorter and longer term study, internships and practicums in the region. And the member for Lindsay will be interested to know 20 nursing students travelled to Thailand to study healthcare delivery in remote districts, including during a short-term practicum with Chiang Mai University and Omgoi Hospital. There were 15 development study students who are travelling to India to volunteer at a non-government organisation focusing on the advocacy and rights of people with intellectual disabilities, and 15 social science, community development, planning and tourism students who will travel to rural communities in Vietnam to examine issues relating to poverty and climate change. So all these students are having the opportunity to study and work in one of 38 eligible locations, from India and Pakistan in the west and Mongolia in the north, Cook Islands in the east. In recent months, I have launched the new Colombo Plan in Thailand, in Tonga, in the Cook Islands and Kiribati, and I can tell you it is an enormously successful exercise in soft power diplomacy. It's been raised positively by President Xi Jinping of China, President Tan of Singapore, Prime Minister Abe in Japan have all raised the new Colombo Plan as an example of this government's commitment to soft power diplomacy at its best. So the new Colombo Plan will also benefit the individual students by giving them new insights and new skills and new ideas that will enhance our country's productivity and prosperity. And I thank the members opposite for their cheers, because this is a bipartisan initiative that receives incredible support across the board, and no wonder they want to be on board with this one, because it will build a generation of friendships and connections and professional networks between Australia and the region. And the benefits of the new Colombo Plan were emphasised by Singapore's President Tony Tan when he said, quote, "I'm confident that the new Colombo Plan will play an important role in strengthening our education and people-to-people ties. The new Colombo Plan reflects the Australian Government's broader focus on enhancing its engagement with Asia." So I thank the member for Lindsay for her very pertinent question about supporting Australia's youth and engaging in the